Well, look at that. We are live and in living color, live from the studios of Esperance Media in Edmonds, Washington. It's time for another edition of Drive Time with me, your car talking buddy, New York Vinnie. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. What a day it is out there. Man, oh man, it's a gorgeous day. And I was out earlier this morning, driving around, picking up a couple of things, running some errands, getting my coffee because I can't do this without my coffee. And the number of classic cars, the number of just traffic stopping cars out there, it's beautiful. That's one of my favorite things about this time of year is just going along and not even necessarily going to car shows, although there are plenty of them out there this weekend. Just within me, we have Shoreline Cars and Coffee, which is on every week. It's not a car show; it's really a meetup of like-minded car enthusiasts. At the Nile Temple Car Show going on. You have Mill Creek Cars and Coffee that has a festival going on along with it. There are tons of places to go this weekend to see cool classic cars, to talk to the owners of them and get an idea of what's going on in that world, and at least see some of that iron that elicits usually the response from most people. Hey, my dad had one of those. Or, boy, I sold that for $25 when I was a kid. I should have held on to that car. Well, where would have you held on to that car when you cross country 5 or 6 times? I mean, I think about all the cars I should have held on to and I didn't, but that's gone. That's gone. The thing is now is a lot of people are out there. They have those cars. They're fixing them up. They're showing them off. It to be the benefactor of that. And yeah, another thing that it really does, it brings back great memories. I mean, I love the memories that you get when you go to a car show and you see a 57 Pont or a 62 old Starfire, or even a gaggle of Edsels like you see behind here in aquamarine with a white top and side. When you see these cars, when you look at them, they evoke these memories in you. Or consequently, I'm out as I search and go through the internet and YouTube more. It also gives people an impetus to learn more about cars. To get an education. I mean, it's easy to go out and get into a car and just say, "Oh, this stuff always existed," but it didn't. And when you go to these classic car shows, you learn a little bit about how advanced the automobiles of today are compared to just 10 or 20, 30 years ago. Even if you don't even if you have a mild interest in a car, even if you're not an enthusiast. You go and you walk around, you look around, you say, "Wow, what's that thing sitting on top of the engine with the hole in it? Well, that must be what they call a carburetor." Or you look at different parts of a car, and you say, "Wow, you really could at one time sit 3 people across on a front seat." Or the biggest thing is, "Daddy, why does the lift handle move all over the place instead of just sticking it in D like you always do?" Or column shifters, which there's just so many different things out there that you can learn about these cars. So if you got nothing to do this weekend, you're looking for something to do, go to one of these car shows or one of these cars and coffees and walk around and take a look at where your car came from and how it got to the point of where it got today. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to give you a couple of really good things that you should be learning about, should know about. Coming up later in the show, we will have, everybody's complaining these days about cars are too expensive. Cars beyond the reach of the average person. Well, we're going to give you the best new cars for under $25,000. And the reason that I like the $25,000 threshold is that used cars have been so expensively that in my mind, if you are going to purchase a used car, a couple of years old, and you don't want to have problems, maybe you buy yourself an expensive new car, especially if you have kids. You don't want to have the problems of maybe something going wrong with the car. You want it to be covered under warranty. There are cars out there that are cheap enough and safe enough, inexpensive enough and safe enough that you can buy that for 25, 26 grand, have a reasonable payment, less than you would with a used car, and still have something of value after a few years. Yes, you take the hit on the depreciation, but you get the new car. And you get the what you hope will be worry-free driving. You have to pick correct brand, but what you hope will be worry-free driving for either you or a kid you send off to Wazoo that has to go over the Route 26 in the winter. You want to have, and really, it comes down to it, all of the safety advantages that they can have, whether it's driving, lane keeping, or automatic emergency braking, or all of the different things that are in cars today. It's all over the place. I'm thinking if they're driving across that Route 26, or they're driving out I-90, you should give them the best possible chance. And you do that not by giving them a clunker, but by giving them a car that ends the best chance of not breaking down. And if it does, a network behind it, just AAA to get the thing back on the road in a hurry. Speaking about I-90, in our 5 things today, there's a ton of road closures just going around the Puget area today, and maybe the biggest one we really need to be worried about. What you need to be worried about. But the one I think that you really need to be worried about is 5 is closed south of I-90 to demolish a bridge, and that is going to muck up traffic all over the place because there's going to be extra cars on 5. There's going to be a detour that's going to go along Sunset, I guess, down there in side I-405. I'm not that familiar with the area. I know a little bit about it. I know enough about it that it's going to screw things up. So if you can at all avoid it, or at all take public transportation today to where you're going, anywhere. And I know there's a Kenny Chesney concert going on tonight, and a bunch of other events. If you can take public transportation or carpool or do something like that to get there, you're going to save yourself a lot of agita. You're going to save yourself aggravation. The last thing you want to do is get aggravated before you go to a show, right? I mean, any show, unless you're going to I don't know, Stiv Bators or something like that, or the Sex Pistols, or something along those lines. Then maybe you want to get angry before the show. But if you're going to Kenny, you don't want to get angry before the show. You want to relax. You want to, be cool. So make sure that you look at the WASDOT. You go to WASDOT.gov and you'll find the traffic map there. Make sure you get that before you start to drive this weekend. It'll only make things beneficial for you. Stay away from 405. Stay away 90 as well, going over the bridges, because there seems to be something going on with the bridges. I don't know if it's construction or what. So it's a smart move to stay away from those as well. Something that I guess the smart people are doing. I think if you're coming from up north, your key move is to get out at Northgate, park your car there by the almost said penguins, by the Kraken facility and take the mass transit down to the field. I think that's probably the best way to go. It's cheaper to park up there. I don't know what it is, but I know it's cheaper than trying to park downtown for $50. And you'll be able to get on that train. You with a whole bunch of other people who are singing Kenny Chesney songs, in the same state of mind. And you enjoy the trip. And you enjoy the trip back up. You get back in your car and go home. From the south, I guess Angle Lake is the place to go, right? I mean, I'm not sure about the south because I don't come up from that part as much, but I'm thinking Angle Lake has a lot of parking or park at the airport, although that might be full or a mess or expensive. But some of those lots around the airport, those park and fly lots, things like that, I'm sure that they have specials for people who are going to go take the train into the city, come back at night, boom, and a lot of those lots, all of them, I think, are open 20 hours. So if you get, if you're out and you get back late and you're having this time, you got to wind up taking an Uber down to Tuck or something like that. You'll still be able to retrieve your car. It's not like in a parking lot for hour on end, where you have to wait till 7 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And please, drink driving. Don't do it. That's simple. I'm trying to grow the audience, those people. And if you out there and you drink and drive, and you hurt somebody yourself, it's going to be a sad thing for people. And listen, my friend Peter is listening, and places, and Seattle would be included, are horrible for mass transit. But past 20 years have immensely improved it to where you can get to downtown Seattle, you can get to Northgate, you can get Angle Lake, you can get to a lot of places. Soon you'll be able to the east side. You can go up on the east side now with mass transit. So it will be, you have options now. And the options aren't just the bus. You have different options, but not all cities have that. We're lucky. And we also started late, if you think about it. There was hardly any mass transit here when I got here in 93. I mean, it was a bus network, and it was a good bus network, but, it didn't run all the time. And you had to figure it out. I mean, King County has done a nice job with Metro of improving that. But it was really Sound Transit as they came in and started doing things like a train to Tacoma and trying to get people off of I-5 and, doing that. So those are things you need to think about if you are local today. And remember to check those traffic maps before you go anywhere. It's just going to be easier for you. Don't forget, coming up, we're going to give you 10 great cars for under around $25,000. 10 great new cars. All right, there's some Seattle Street legislation that's been introduced. They want to up the fines and up the ante on street racers. They want to include not just people who are competitively racing on the street, but they also want to change the law, include people who do these takeovers of the intersections and drifting and all of that kind of stuff. There's violence that goes along with it. I mean, in this idiot world that we live in, sometimes we have a gazillion people walking around with guns, and somebody says something to somebody that somebody doesn't like, and somebody starts shooting. It's the way of the world today. Your mother said nothing good happens after midnight, right? Well, she might have been more right than you think about. And listen, I'm a street racer from way back. I used to do this stuff back in New York on a connecting highway and Cross Bay Boulevard, and cars were louder, and we didn't have cars that drifted because the axles would fall out of them. But What I wish this city would do, and listen, I don't know that you can do this anymore, but at least to explore the option, explore the idea of taking maybe the King County Airport, maybe a piece of some area, some large park, some large area where there's asphalt, and why not community policing type of thing? Why not set something up where these kids could go to a place and stop supervised? I know we don't have officers, we don't have this, we don't have that. But what would be the better idea? Letting these kids do the intersection takeovers and stuff like that, or give them a place to let some of the steam off, to let some of the angst off, to take their cars and show them off, and be supervised. Now I know every kid's not going to do it. I know part of the allure is to do it and get away with it. But there are, if you increase the penalty, the fines, and the impounding on cars, because that's what you need to do. You're going to stop somebody is to take their car, and then it'll be a while before they can get another one. But what you need to do is you need to give these kids a place to do this, and if you do that, and you couple that with an extreme crackdown on street racing and all the things that go along with it, the drifting and everything else, and a place on a Friday or Saturday night to show off their cars, maybe you don't get everyone, but I bet you would get a large portion of these kids if they know that they could show their car off and drift with it in front of people, and do it in a manner that was regulated. I think you would have a lot of people, a lot of these kids that would show up that would go to a place where they know that they could do it without fear of losing their license, hurting somebody, doing the things. Maybe I'm nuts. Well, that's probably the truth anyway. But I just think that if the city is going to legislate, the county and everybody's going to legislate against this, maybe we ought to be thinking at the same time of how to give the kids that participate in this stuff some kind of place where they might be able to go and do it, and where the police involved, and the county could get involved, and the city get involved, and make sure that these cars were safe, maybe with tech inspection. I don't know. I've seen it done before in places. And I don't know stops the street racing, but if you take half of the cars off the street, you're getting, and you're getting a lot better of a place, getting to a lot better of a place than you would if you do nothing about it, if you just fine them and confiscate their cars. And the whole idea of confiscating cars is a joke. You got this clown running around Seattle there, the Belltown Wildcat, Hellcat. You can't, I mean, this guy's doing it in front of everybody's face and on video, and you can't do anything about it. So what makes you think if you have 25 people on tape that you're going to be able to do something? Come on, man, work with these kids. Maybe show them that law enforcement isn't such a bad thing, that it can work with you instead of just against you. But you got to put it out there. If you don't, you're going to continue. People are going to continue to get hurt, and it's just going to be a mess. The politicians are just going to be able to stand up. I'm against it. 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 I'm again and not come up with any real solution for it. Dig involved, roll up your sleeves and think of something. Still solutions. That's the Seattle street racing legislation that's going on. One of the things that I was looking at this week that I thought was really interesting, piece from MSNBC about electric vehicles and some of the prices that are out there on these leases for electric vehicles. It is there's a slump in the EV market right now. There's no doubt about that. For whatever reason now, people are. I think a lot of the reason price, and I think we're going to find out in the next few years that most of these electric vehicles are $10,000 more than if you would go out and buy a comparable internal combustion engine vehicle. And there's also the other problems that we'll face with charging stations and when am I going to fit in this, that, the other thing, and range anxiety. Well, the range anxiety is getting better. There are definitely more easier to use charging stations out there. The early adopters have adopted, and now it's really bringing people in that are making a decision: should I buy a gasoline engine car, or should I buy an electric car, or a hybrid, something in the middle? I want the tax credits. I want this. I want that on the electric vehicles, and the manufacturers, many of the manufacturers, have started to address that. We're gone from a place where the dealer is in control of everything and the manufacturer is in control of everything because there was a shortage of vehicles, to a place where there's more vehicles than they know what to do with right now, especially electric ones. So what you're winding up with are killer deals on some of these electric vehicles. And not just ones that have limited range or limited this or limited that. You can go out and find yourself a pretty nice electric for $300 a month. Right. $300 a month. You can go out and find. As a matter of fact, if you want to go to a Hyundai dealer and lease like 5, $242 a month, $3,500 down. It's a lease again. At the end, if you don't like it, at the end of it, you give it back. So maybe you pay a little more, or if you like it, consequently, you can, you have a residual value that you can go and boom. Chevy Blazer, $1,679 down, $369 a month for the Chevy Blazer. The Blazer EV, which by all reports, once they get some of the kinks out in it, it's going to be a very good vehicle. Certainly a vehicle that people are buzzing about, and some of the performance versions and everything. Again, the trick here, I think the spot is to not buy the first ones that come out of the factory like any car, like you've known for years. Don't buy the first year of any car. It's nothing new. I mean, my father told me that in the 60s. You try not to buy the first year of it's out there because they're still learning how to build them. And my old Joe was very smart when it came to this kind of stuff. He knew. And I think that Polestar, which is performance end of volume, $299 for a lease. I mean, for a lot of people, that's less than their cable bill. If you add up all your streaming service, cable, and your internet and everything, you're probably over $299 a month. With one of these vehicles, you could probably use that as your hotspot. Save on your internet as well. Although EX30, they're running deals on them. The Nissan, they're running on. So, and again, you can find 1, 2, and 3 leases on the cars, so that you're not married to it for a long time. That you get out of it, a year or 2 years or 3 years. And if electric is for you, then you continue. If it's not for you, you go to an ICE car. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be there. The internal combustion engine. As much as we think that they're going to go away, I don't think they are. The internal combustion vehicles. Not yet, at least. And to be honest with you, it'll be interesting to see what happens as the political situation continues, because we have one guy who's saying that he's going to get rid of electric cars. Another guy who's saying he loves electric cars. So there's a political aspect to this too. I don't want to get into politics, but I think that there are going to be people who are going to hold off to find out exactly what's going to happen in November before they invest more, or they, wind up, I don't know if it's just buying an electric car, or if it's, investing in some of the things that you need for an electric car. Like people who might be out there saying, gee, I got a lot. Maybe I should pave that lot over and put 5 or 6 charging machines there and a coffee bar so that people can come and charge their cars up. Not a bad idea, right? I think I just gave you a business idea. I mean, there's a great lot not too far from over here, that is right on Highway 99, across there. And I'm looking at that lot. There used to be a brake repair shop there. I'm saying, man, if you pave that lot over, you stuck 10 charging stations and a coffee bar, you'd have the modern day version of a gas. People could come down in the morning, charge their car up, get their coffee, and scout toward the city. Be interesting to see. My good friend Ron Callan is listening to the show. Let's see, what does Ronnie have to say here? He bought the last year Ford Focus, had a stick shift. Does that increase value? No, it actually increases value, Ron, because many of our youth today don't know how to drive a stick shift. As a matter of fact, the joke is, if you want to make sure that your car isn't going to get stolen, buy a stick shift. Because most of the young people are going to look at it and go, the heck is that? There's a great Saturday Night Live skit they did a couple of years ago with Chris Redd, who I think is a very funny comedian. And he was supposed to be like this guy who was to do this secret agent job, and he's going to get in this Ferrari or something like that, a supercar, steal it, and I don't know, the secret formula or whatever. And he gets in and he looks down and he says, "This three pedal." The super spy, super criminal doesn't know how to get away in a car that has three. I don't know. It's one of the funny things that you could that I'd seen on in a long time. And right, great way to teach your son or daughter to stick shift. Go get him a Ford Focus with a stick shift in it. You should teach your kids stick shift. I think what shocked me is, and this was years ago. It wasn't just, I went to an event, an automotive manufacturers event, and I'm at the table, and there's 2 or 3 guys that review automobiles that don't know how to drive stick shift. And I'm at the guy saying, how the hell can you be an auto reviewer and not drive stick shift? Well, I don't know. Well, you shouldn't call yourself an auto reviewer. If you can't drive a stick shift, Now, today that's a little different because as it's hard, there's just not a lot of stick shift cars. But boy, oh boy, I was hot under the collar with this guy because I was like, how can you sit at the same table and call yourself an automobile reviewer and you don't drive stick shift? Man, I tell you, the things you see if you live long enough. Thank you for letting me take a sip of my what am I making here? Gatorade Light Zero is what I'm drinking this morning. You got to put the electrolytes back in your body, especially if you're a guy like me who, I don't know, I guess big people lose electrolytes faster or something. I don't know, but they told me, the doctor said, drink like Gatorade or something like that. Put your electrolytes back in. Do I look handsomer because of it? All right, let's ask that musical question that we always get to ask each week.
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week?
This week I'm driving 2025 Mazda CX-70 Turbo X Premium Plus. Boy, that's a mouthful, but it's a car full. This, you know, I have a love affair with Mazda. I like them. I think they're one of the best cars out there because they bring you utility, good, solid performance, and great road feel. Feel the road when you drive these cars. You get to feel a connection with the road that isn't there in a lot of other cars. And over the years, Mazda has upped their game as far as luxury. Look at this thing. This thing does not look a Mazda interior. It looks like it belongs to a Lexus or an Acura or something like that. But that what do you call it? Napa leather on the dashboard, the seats, the switches in the back. People in the back can control their heating or cooling destiny. I mean, it's really, when you get down to it, it's a great car. It's roomy inside. It's a couple of I guess it was almost a year ago we drove the CX-90. Well, this is really the CX-90 without a third seat, which gives you much more cargo room in the back. And what's cool is it gives you a little trick thing where you lift up the floor and you put stuff under the floor. And I think that is an excellent idea. There should be something more EVs. It's the only fault with this car that I can find is the the entertainment system and the display. It's a little wonky, takes getting used to. But as far as the engine in this car, the inline six, the stuff that you look at as far as how does this thing run, the CX-70 gives 280 horsepower. Actually 140 horsepower, excuse me, 369 pound-feet of torque. It pulls 100 pounds. If you have the bigger engine, it'll 5,000 pounds. And it is a pleasure to drive. Again, I haven't taken it through the test track yet, so we'll do that this weekend. But we certainly, I am enjoying my time in the CX-70. This is a brand new for 2025 vehicle. The designs are beautiful. The interior is comfortable. The power is there. The tech, like I say, the tech is there. The delivery of the tech. And one thing I love about this vehicle, and I'm going to tell you, if you're an old person or you have an older person here, this is something that you don't think about, but is going to be really important. It's a device in this vehicle. If you have a little emergency, if the vehicle senses through systems that you're not conscious that there's something wrong, you've fallen asleep, you have a medical emergency, this car will pull over to the side. It'll give you a progression of warnings And when you hit a certain progression warnings, it will pull the car over to the side. How many lives is that going to save? Somebody who knows a couple of people who have been killed in auto accidents where a driver has either lost consciousness, lost control, fallen asleep. All of those, how many lives do you think that this vehicle and this system in a Mazda is going to save? Again, some people out there that will stand up and say, "Oh, well, the computer controls too much of the car." Well, yeah, well, maybe for you it does. But if I have a senior citizen parent, wait a minute, I'm a senior citizen. Oh, hang on. If I'm a senior citizen and I'm going out to buy a car, that's thinking about what happens to me if I'm driving along and all of a sudden I seize up. This car, in a quick matter of time, will pull the car over. I think it's one of the fantastic that are available on modern vehicles today, and I think it's going to save Lord Mazda for having it. I think it's a great thing that they have done here. So kudos to Mazda. I don't know if you saw the graphic up there. $59,000 is what this is going to cost you in that area. $59,000. This is the top of the line with the inline six and the turbo and the 20-inch wheels and the whole deal like that. You can find them less expensively, I believe. As a matter of fact, a chart here before that had some of the different models available with this vehicle, and I think that this is one that you should look if you're out there shopping for vehicles in that larger SUV class. Solid car, solid effort by Mazda. And, of course, cars are supplied to me by several of the different manufacturers. By the way, it is a hybrid. I know I didn't mention that. It's what they call a mild hybrid. So there is some electrification in this vehicle. So something to think about if you are, in fact, looking for a new car. I highly recommend the Mazdas, man. I think that, again, great car, great price, and solid vehicles. All right, let me grab a quick sip here, and then we're going to jump into the best new cars under $25,000 that you can buy. By the way, that was the 2025, so it wouldn't get included on this list, but it's over $25,000 anyway. So these vehicles that cost in the area, most of them less than $25,000. Now, most of these cars are really base model cars. So if you start adding stuff, obviously the prices of different packages, but all of them have the basics. They have the lamping, they have the basic safety equipment that you need to have in a car these days. The collision avoidance stuff, some have more, others, but again, these are cars, and this is from U.S. News and World Report, one of my favorite places to find little tidbits about cars. Our good friend John Vincent writes for them. He's, I believe, the managing editor. Let me quickly change my glasses here and put on my high-powered reading glasses. Don't worry, the beard's going away today. I know that people look at this and they go, "Well, I'm going to scruff," but we're trying. The beard will go away today. I just, when you're older, you get too lazy to shave. I mean, that's something that unfortunately happens to you. You just get too lazy to shave. So let's jump into this. as again. So for $16,695, you can get the Mitsubishi Mirage, available as a hatchback or a sedan, 78 horsepower. I don't know that I'd want to take it out of way. But if you're looking for something and you only do city driving, then that maybe you would consider. I'm not a big fan of it, but as I say, $16,695. That's the end of the spectrum. And again, I drove the Mitsubishi SUV. I really liked it a lot. I really thought that Mitsubishi SUV was worth every dime that they asked for it. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a quick little story. I got into an accident in it, and all the safety systems worked beautiful. So I like their SUVs, but their little Mirage and those cars, the little electric car that they have, probably best to stay away from those vehicles unless 16 grand is all you got. I think you can do better on cars. Right, let's move the number up a little bit, because we did talk about under $25,000 in decent cars. All right, we start off with the Chevrolet Trailblazer. Comes in at $23,100. They get an overall score of 6 out of 10. Trailblazer is a solid vehicle. It's available at a low price. There are talk of Chevy having some problems with some of them, but I think most of these cars are going to give you at some point some kind of problems. I mean, even Toyota is having with some of their vehicles right now. It's just a form of manufacturing. It's what happened. Next up on the list is we go down toward Toyota Corolla Hybrid. I mean, really, how much better could you do than a Toyota Corolla? They're cars. They're bulletproof. The mechanical great. The hybrid saves you get around 40 miles per gallon with the hybrid. And a vehicle that can buy this thing confidently and say to you, hey, I got a good vehicle. Up on the list at an overall score of 7.7 is the Chevrolet Trax. See them advertised all over the place. $1,400 is the low price on one. Most of them I hear going around $22,000, and there's deals on them right now. A lot of them, again, it's minimalist. It's not give you all the bells and whistles that you would get in a, but it's a car, and it has guarantee, and it's gonna. Most people I know that buy these Chevrolets say, little things go wrong here and there, but for the most part, problem free. This one is going away this year, but it's still around for $19,990. The Kia Forte. The Kia has undergone a lot of bad press lately because of some of the problems with the Kias that don't have the anti-theft stuff in them, and some other engine problems they have had. But I'm here to tell you that I think even working through the problems, that the Kia Forte gives you more for $19,000 than almost everybody else on this list. As far as safety equipment, the Koreans know how to build cars, and they pack them with safety stuff. Now, I think the Forte is going to go away in favor of they're going to rename it and improve it. I think you're looking at a car that's worth the $19,990. You have a Subaru. Matter of fact, two Subarus on the Subaru Legacy in at $24,895. and the Subaru Impreza for $22,995. I'm a big fan of Subaru. I don't think you can go wrong buying a Subaru. I put personal family in Subarus because I love the Boxer engine. I love the fact that I think you can still get a couple of these cars. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think, and they're roomy, they're space, they have space, they have great warranties, and they run great. It's a car that, again, you're gonna pay $5,000 for this car, $22,995 for the Impreza, and I don't know if it has an Impreza or a Legacy that doesn't like them. It's almost like a cult. I'd also on the Nissan Kicks with a score of 7.9 out of 10 and a $21,340 overall score. The Nissan Kicks, I've driven one. I haven't driven the new one because Nissan has decided that you don't need to know about their cars through me. But I will tell you that the Kicks that I drove had some issues. But again, it seems like they've redesigned it, and it's probably a car worth taking a look at. Although I will tell you that I would stay away from Nissan at the moment. The Versa, the Kicks, they just seem to be having their technology new and improved, in my book. Again, you'll see other people differently, and if I had one to drive me, think differently too. Next up on the list, and this is one of the big surprises about this earlier in the year when I don't think you can go wrong with a Buick. I think the price on these Buicks are the styling, the dollar amount of these things. The Buick invested $20,400, and I think you get a ton of value in for $22,400. Next up on the list is we go to number one, the Honda HR-V. Again, a car that you're probably going to pay sticker, if not a little bit more for. An 8 out of 10 score, according to U.S. News and World Reports. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a HR-V. I think they pack a ton of stuff into this car. It's a visually pleasing car. It has a lot of roof side. I don't think you can go wrong again at $24,600 for a Honda HR-V. Now keep in mind that you're going to go to the dealer and this may be a car you'll have to. Maybe a car. Not a lot of dealers buy the minimum car, but they're around. You're on a site like Edge or something like that, and search for them, or Edmunds or one of those sites. Also on the list here, there's another surprise about halfway through. The Volkswagen Taos has an 8.1 score. This is a good car, the Volkswagen Taos. I know a lot of people don't like them. They haven't caught on like they should have. But at $23,995, I think it's a great value. I like Volkswagen. It's close to Mazda in some of my favorite vehicles. Yeah, some of the tech might not be up to where the Hyundais or the Kias are, but they're still great vehicles, and they're Volkswagens. For people that are loyal to Volkswagens, these are great. It's like the Jetta, which is not on this list, but should be. The Jetta, another great vehicle that maybe is a little higher than 25,000. Maybe you're going to be 25 to 30 on that one. All right, next, Elantra from Hyundai and the Kona from Hyundai. One's a sedan, the Elantra, beautiful styling. I mean, the Hyundai and Kia and Genesis have hired the best designers in the world. You get a pleasing package to drive when you buy something from Hyundai. An absolutely pleasing package. And The Elantra, you could, the minimum price on it is about $21,625. The Kona, $24,250. But you're getting yourself a spacious SUV for that kind of money. On the list is the Ford Maverick. Try and buy one. If you can find one, let me know. This is one of the most popular vehicles that we have seen out of Detroit in many a year. The little four-door pickup truck is just a winner on so many levels. At its price point of $23,815, at its utility point of its ability to maneuver around the city, it's a great. Its ability to have that pickup bed in back. I'm an El Camino fan. I love pickup truck. This is the perfect city pickup truck. It's not a big gun to pickup truck like diesel. It's a small little truck with a small little engine, but it'll take you wherever you want to go. And I love that Ford has a large measure of recycled materials that they use in this truck. But it is a truck. It is built as a truck. Ford Maverick, I think, is one of the best. Number one on this list for value and for driving. That's a little out of the box. Yet, when you the only problem with this Ford Maverick is people are going to drive it a pickup, and they go to you. You got a couple hours on Saturday to help me out. I got to go pick up a Yabba Daboo, the nursery, or I got to go pick up a Yabba Bing off of the Buying Edmonds site or something like that. So beware that that's going to happen to you if you buy the Ford Maverick. Also on the list here, as we get down, comes the Mazda CX-30. I've said as much as I can say about Mazda cars. And you can buy them at a reasonable price. The CX-30 is their small UV. People I know that love them. The Kia Seltos. I know a couple of people with Kia Seltos. They love their cars as well. The one about these cars, inexpensive, and people love them. The Mazda 3 is again, you can get into a Mazda 3. The base price $24,170, hatchback or sedan. And again, I don't know that you can do much better than the Mazda 3 on all levels: spaciousness, driving dynamics, fuel economy, safety. I mean, they pack more safety into these things than you want to believe. So, really, a vehicle that Nathan has one. He loves his. I've loved every one I've driven. I just wish that they would bring Mazda speed back. We got the hopped up little version of these Mazda 3s because they're great little cars. That used to be a Mazda too. All right, number 2 on the list is one of. I have loved this car ever since Kia brought us down to San Diego, the first one, the Kia Soul. Show me a car that I mean, again, if you don't need all-wheel drive, and if you don't need 6 or 10 inches of ground, and you don't need to go off-road, if you want a box that's going to get you from A to B and let you put in a whole bunch of stuff, even let you go car camping in it, the Kia Soul, you can't do better. You have electrified versions. You have a vehicle that will that I'm not going to say trouble-free, but I think an excellent record as far as reliability. And they are as funky and cool looking today as when they first put them out. Man, what year was that? It was in the 2000s, I think, right? I think and a 20,190 for the and again, these are the base prices, and these are prices that you'll have to search for. But you go on Edmunds, you go on Car Edge, you go on these different sites that aggregate where these cars are, find them. You may have to take a trip to Oregon. You may have to take a trip to Eastern Washington. But they're out there. These. And finally, the number one car, the best new car under $25,000 of 2024, according to U.S. News and World Report. And I absolutely is the 2024 Honda Civic. $23,950 is the base price for this car. I'm sure that there are dealers out there that is price. And what can you say about the Honda Civic? Already been said. It is a stalwart of small cars. It is a car that gives you value. That is looks cool in either its back or its sedan iterations. It's a beautiful interior. It's a well designed car. It looks good. It drives perfectly. Its driving dynamics are not athletic as you may get in the Mazda or even the Subaru. But as a value proposition car that you can go out and buy and keep for a number of years, a car that you're going to feel safe in, a car that you're going to feel safe putting your kid in, to drive over to East Washington, to drive down to California, to drive wherever they're driving. The Honda Civic is not going to be beat. It gets an 8.7 out of 10 on their scale. And I just think either way you get these, as a hybrid or as, any way you can wind up getting these things, you're going to find that it's a fantastic car. It's you look at car reviews, and I read car reviews all the time. It's consistently one of the highest ranked and best-selling compact cars on the market. So you're not going to be driving the only Honda Civic out there. But boy, oh boy, are you going to be driving a car that is going to accomplish what you want it to accomplish. Be safe, be stylish, and be great station. I don't know that you can do better. A couple of addendums to this thing. According to J.D. Power, the Kia Forte, the Kia Soul tie for the most reliable car in this price range. The fastest new car under $25,000 is the Ford Maverick. Has a 50 horsepower standard engine, which is gives you more oomph, more torque than anything else on the list. The most popular car under $25,000 is the Toyota Corolla. In 2023, they sold 232,370 of them, which means it is the most purchased car costing less than $25,000. So if you're driving around in a Corolla and you want to join your Corolla club, make sure that you wait, because you're going to have plenty of company in that area. And again, I just go back to the Honda Civic. It really is the class of all of these cars, from the material they use in the interior, to the tech features, to the fun of it. It's the complete package. And the suspensions on them actually make this thing, I think, one of the best cars to drive on a on a 2-lane highway, going out into central Washington, out to Walla Walla, to Pullman, up to to western Washington, all of these different places. This doesn't be a freeway cruiser, but it gives you a car that will hold its own going through the curves of some of the roads, and it's loaded with features. I just think that you can't do better for a this type of vehicle is $25,000. This, do I buy this or do I buy a used car? I think you're better off with this. Also, the fact that it has safety features that come with the car, lanes, adaptive cruise control, all of that stuff comes with the car. So something to think about, but that's your top cars in that category. I know it's the time of year where a lot of people think about what do I want to buy? What do I want my kid to go back to school in? What do I how do I get my kid in a car that I feel safe about? It's 20 cars, or I don't know, 50 cars or whatever it is that you can put your kid in at a decent price, and you relocate it back to school ready. That's the way you're going to go, instead of buying your kid a used car that is going to give them to. Plus, something to think about. Right now, your used car is worth, as of this week, probably the most money that you're going to get for it. So if you sell your used car and put that money on one of these, you come with a car that is going to be under warranty for a certain amount of time, and it's going to be probably more likely to be trouble-free than that 3 or 4 or 5-year-old car that you're going to give your kid to drive out and have all the latest safety stuff. And safety pays, my friends. Or at least I always think that safety pays. All right. Another thing before we get ready to give you the road test is I just saw yesterday that Seattle approved or is going to put on the ballot like 150. I don't forget what it is. Like, what was it? 150 million or 150 billion? It was a huge improvement package levy that you're going to be asked to pay for Seattle roads. I haven't looked into it yet, so I don't know if I'm for it or against it. But the roads do need to be improved in many places. I said something a couple of weeks ago, and since I said it, I actually went out and researched it and found that I was a lot more wrong than I thought I was, that the roads here in Washington State are not in good shape. Now, I think the majority of roads that aren't in good shape are here in western Washington, and in Seattle. And I think there's things that you have to do, to bring these roads up to speed. And again, we don't know what the political structure is going to be. So instead of getting a whole ton of federal money to do this, it may be that you are going to have to bear the cost of it. And as we said before, the fact that there are more and more electric cars on the road is less the pot available from gas taxes to rebuild and to do the road work. Now, I know you're sitting on 405 waiting to get off to go through the detour. You're saying, well, Vinnie, talking about. But the continuing maintenance of roads in this area is some of the most important things for transportation, for getting our goods to different places, for safety, for just so many things. Many things have not kept up with the increase in population here. So again, I'm not just blindly going out and say we should vote for this. I want to look at it more. and be a lot more familiar with it. We're going to try to get somebody on in the next week or two about what this means and what this if you're a Seattle voter, what levy is going to mean for you, and how much. I think I heard a figure somewhere of 42 of $40 a month or something. I thought that was a bit high, but shocks me anymore in this area. Yes, it's $1.55 billion transportation levy. It'll be valid in November. You'll see people plugging it, working hard to plug it, and people that are against it. A lot of the people that are against it will be against everything. A lot of the people that are for it will be everything. Hard to say what it will be until we look at it. But it's something to pay attention to, because you're gonna be seeing a lot of advertising around it. People trying to change your mind. A lot of people trying to say you need to have this in your life. All right. Time now for our radio road test. I made a mistake here, so we're going to use the same video that
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week?
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? But again, I want to highlight this the Lexus RZ 300E luxury front wheel drive. Now, this is the continuum of the BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. This is the Lexus brand. This is Lexus's first all-electric car, and it's a Lexus. I mean, it delivers everything that you want from a Lexus. It's great seats, premium interior, nice soft ride, luxury car ride. It's all there in this car. If you want an all-electric car and you've waited for Lexus to come out with one, well, this may be the way you want to go, but maybe not. What they've done with this car is the all-wheel drive version, the 450, has a motor in the front, motor in the back. Well, they took the motor out of the back of this thing, so it's only front-wheel drive. And it extends the mileage that you can get, but then they're going to be, I think, 21-inch tires on it. It has the big touch screen that you love in a Lexus, even the car puts out 201 horsepower with the front wheel drive. The range of the car is low. I mean, there's reports that you get 120, 140 miles. Which is a lot less capable than other EVs out there. You get 266, I think, miles on this thing. This was one of the coolest things. It rode well, it handled well. It felt better than your average electric car. But, a 266 range. But I could only manage to get about 244 out of it. That's the estimated range. So my final thoughts on this particular vehicle is that if you are a Lexus loyalist and you have been waiting for a Lexus to come out with an all-electric car, you'll probably run and lease this thing for a couple of years and enjoy it. If you don't take long road trips, you will enjoy this vehicle. If you have to be out on the road, you take long road trips, the range just isn't there yet, and that's going to be a problem. I don't say don't buy one. What I say is look at your range as far as fit and finish and luxury and everything else. It was beautiful. I still haven't been able to quite figure those two things on the back are, and why there's no real windshield wiper on this one as well. I'm going to work on that. We'll know what that is in the near future. But again, that I thoroughly enjoyed, that I thought, if it had 100 more miles of range to it, people would be flocking to the Lexus showroom. a well-designed vehicle, a comfortable vehicle, a vehicle that you could adjust the ride to get it to where you want it to. Fortunately, it's a vehicle that delivers luxury without rain. And I think going forward here, as far as electric cars, as more and more people adopt them, you have to deliver range. You have to be up over 300 miles as far as range for these vehicles. And the Lexus, while it's a really good vehicle, really solid, doesn't get there. And if you go for the 400, it gets there even less. The all-wheel drive. Again, and if you're going to spend that much money, you want the range. I mean that's something manufacturers are going to have to figure out here pretty. If they want to get people into these electric cars, they're going to have to come up with range. I think only thing that's going to drop people of who are potentials. Now, again, if their mindset botted with the I don't want an electric car because of these, you're not going to change their minds, just like you're not going to change their minds on who they're going to vote for president. But if you look at it objectively, range will change the consumer's mind. Those are the words I'll leave you with this week. All right. Good show today, I think. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We'll be back next Saturday morning with another edition of Drive Time Radio with yours truly. Drive Time Radio has been brought to you by my good friend George Jackson. George Jackson Promotions Incorporated. George provides all types of things for your business that you may need, whether they be giveaways, whether they be T-shirts, whether they be all kinds of things that will get your business noticed. He knows how to do this. He's done it for years. He's the greatest guy in the world to work with. He loves Bruce Springsteen, and he's a funny guy on top of it. He's straight up. He's honest, and you're dealing with George, not a computer, not a bot, not an AI. You're dealing with George. And George will make sure that if he says to you that you're going to get your package on Tuesday, that you're going to get your package on Tuesday. If he says to you that package that's coming Tuesday is going to cost you $375, that package is going to cost you $375. You're dealing with a human being that believes in service. And when you need advertising specialties, isn't that what you want? When you need keychains, when you need T-shirts, when you need giveaways, when you need calendars, and we're getting close to calendar time too already. It's July. When you need all of that kind of stuff, the drives that you plug into the side of the computer, when you need all that stuff, deal with the human being, deal local, deal with the guy, and by local I mean Pittsburgh, but he's an honorary Seattle guy, George. And he does a great job. Find him on the internet at gjpromo.com. You can find him also on Facebook and all your social media channels at GJ Promo. But George Jackson, a good friend, a long supporter of this show, and we wouldn't be here without him. So thank you. Cars that you see me drive are provided manufacturer with no preconceived notion of whether I'm going to like or dislike vehicles. We make no promises. We drive them, and we tell it like we see it. I tell it like I see it. He tells it like he sees it. Nathan tells it like even though Nathan's not here, he always tells it like he sees it. All right. Thanks so much. Don't forget to keep in touch with us during the week. Oh, before I go, there's one other thing I wanted to mention. Almost forgot about this. I don't know how many people out here remember our good friend Rod Long. Comedian. He's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. But Rod Long is just a funny guy. He's a funny dude. Rod Long, who is a comedian, is going to have is going to have a show. He's won the Seattle comedy contest. He's won a ton of things. He's going to play. I can't find it now. He's going to play out in Issaquah doing a stand-up on Wednesday night. Find it for you in 1 second. Sorry, I forgot about this, and I want to make sure that we give Rod. Yeah, find it right here. We want to pack the house. Rod. Oh Lordy, sometimes to find things in my world. Hey, listen, we're in overtime anyway, right? Let's dig this out real quick. I want to make sure that we give this a bit of a plug because I love Rod Long. He's a great guy. I've known him since I've been in Seattle. So it's Wednesday night, July 17th, 7 o'clock at Vino Bella at 99 Front Street North in Issaquah. So if you're not doing anything, I don't know how many comics are on the bill. I know that Rod's going to be there. I would get there early, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a good Italian meal, and head over to Vino Bella at 99 Front Street in Issaquah. I'll see you there. I'll be hanging out there too. So come by, say hello, and join us for July Comedy Night at Vino Bella in Issaquah, 99 Front Street North in Issaquah. A good time will be had by all. And besides, what are you guys? There's gonna be no Maryland baseball, the All-Star break. I'll post this on my socials as well, so you can find it. Okay. All right. See you Monday with Michael Knight. Peace, love, and Manischewitz. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little while this Saturday morning. And we will catch up with you with another edition of Drive Time. Don't forget, you can get us on the podcast too. Next Saturday morning at 11, if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now.